Look, be honest with me for a second. Have you had this moment recently? You walk into a grocery store, grab the same eggs, milk, rice, chicken you always buy. You get to the counter, the cashier rings it up, and you're standing there thinking, this cannot be right. I didn't even buy anything fancy. 2 bags, $50. And you're like, wait, I swear this used to be 30. Here's the thing, you're not imagining it, and you're not bad with money. But what is happening is way more important than most people realize, and it's quietly wrecking financial futures without anyone noticing. Today, we're diving into why prices just keep going up, why your salary never feels like it's catching up, and most importantly, what you can actually do about it. The lie we're all told about inflation. Now, you might be thinking, inflation is just like prices going up a little every year, right? That's what most people believe, and that belief is exactly why inflation blindsides them. Because inflation isn't just a price problem, it's a purchasing power problem. Here's what most people don't realize. If your money doesn't grow faster than inflation, you're effectively getting poorer even if your bank balance goes up. Let me prove it. The math nobody explains clearly. According to long-term data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, inflation averages roughly 3% per year over decades. That doesn't sound scary, right? Okay, let's do real math. Imagine you have $10,000 sitting in a savings account earning 0.5% interest. After 1 year, your account grows to roughly $10,050. Inflation eats away 3% of your purchasing power. That means your money is effectively worth $9,750 in real terms. You see growth, but you lost buying power. And here's where it gets worse. Over 10 years, that same $10,000 loses about 26% of its purchasing power at 3% inflation. Over 20 years, almost 45% gone. No market crash, no bad decisions, just inflation quietly doing its thing. This is where it gets really interesting. Why inflation feels worse than the numbers say. You'll hear headlines like, inflation is only 4% this year, and you're thinking, only? My rent went up 12%. My groceries are insane. That's because inflation isn't evenly distributed. Certain categories hit harder: housing, food, healthcare, education. For example, U.S. housing costs rose over 20% from 2020 to 2023. Grocery prices jumped roughly 25% in that same period. These aren't luxuries, these are non-negotiables, which means inflation hits regular people harder than statistics suggest. And psychologically, this messes with us. The psychology, why inflation feels personal. Inflation triggers something called loss aversion. We feel losses about twice as intensely as gains. So when your salary goes up 5%, but your bills go up 8%, your brain reads that as failure, even if you're technically earning more. This leads to stress spending, I deserve this, avoidance like I don't even want to check my account, and bad financial decisions made emotionally. Here's the dangerous assumption inflation creates. If I just work harder or earn more, I'll be fine. But that's only half the equation. Why raises don't save you. Let's say you get a 6% raise. Sounds great, right? But inflation is 4%. Taxes take maybe 25 to 30% of that raise. Your real increase might be 1 to 2%, if that. And that's before lifestyle creep kicks in. New car, better phone, slightly nicer apartment. Inflation doesn't just raise prices, it exposes bad systems. Here's what most people don't realize about cash. Cash feels safe. It doesn't move, it doesn't fluctuate, it doesn't scare us. But cash is the most passive loser in an inflationary environment. Money that isn't invested, growing, compounding is actively shrinking in real value. And I know what you're thinking, but investing is risky. Yes, but not investing has a guaranteed downside when inflation exists. That's the uncomfortable truth. A simple analogy that changes everything. Think of inflation like a leaky bucket. Your income that's the water going in. Inflation is the leak at the bottom. You can pour faster, work harder, but if you don't patch the leak, you'll never fill the bucket. Most people focus only on pouring more. Smart people focus on stopping the leak and increasing the flow. So who actually wins during inflation? This part makes people uncomfortable. People who tend to benefit? Asset owners, investors, businesses with pricing power. Why? Because assets tend to rise with inflation, debt gets cheaper in real terms, income-producing investments adjust over time. Meanwhile, pure wage earners fall behind unless they actively protect themselves. This isn't fair, but it is reality. Actionable steps you can take right now. 1. Know your real inflation rate. Your personal inflation rate might be 6%, 8%, or higher. Track your actual expenses, not headline numbers. 2. Stop letting large cash balances sit idle. Emergency fund, yes. Long-term savings needs growth. At minimum, consider high-yield savings, inflation-adjusted bonds, broad market index funds for long-term. 3. Increase income strategically. Not just work more. Focus on high-demand skills, negotiation, side income that scales. Inflation rewards leverage, not exhaustion. 4. Learn basic investing psychology. Markets fluctuate. Inflation doesn't care about your fear. Consistency beats timing. 5. Delay lifestyle upgrades. This one is huge. Every permanent expense locks in future inflation pain. A short story that ties it all together. 2 friends, same age, same income. One keeps cash to be safe. The other invests steadily. 10 years later, same effort, same work ethic, but one can buy freedom, and the other wonders why money never feels enough. The difference wasn't intelligence, it was understanding inflation early. Final reality check. Strong motivation. Inflation is not going away. Governments print money, costs rise, time keeps moving. You have 2 options. Do nothing and slowly fall behind, or learn the game and protect yourself. Here's the good news. Once you understand inflation, money finally makes sense. You stop blaming yourself, you stop feeling crazy, and you start making intentional choices. If this video changed the way you see money even a little, hit the like button so more people stop losing to inflation silently. Subscribe if you want clear, no BS financial education that actually helps. And comment below, what's the price increase that shocked you the most recently? Because once we talk about this openly, inflation stops being invisible, and when it's visible, you can finally beat it.